Why does a Black Lives Matter organization that claims to stand for racial justice have an agenda for, this was the phrase, disrupting the Western family unit, basically? Which is the same agenda as the cult. Why do 1% billionaires like Soros, 1% corporations like Cisco, 1% foundations galore fund Black Lives Matter when they could not give a shit about black people or any other apart from themselves? Why would they do that? Now here's an irony of ironies. The same cult, families and networks that were behind slavery and the imposition on black people of slavery are the same networks, the same cult that funds Black Lives Matter. What is going on? Is another irony of ironies. This cult at its core is almost entirely white, and it is funding Black Lives Matter in basically a war on white people. Get on your knees and confess your white privilege. Why would this core of white people at the core of this cult want to create a war on white people? Because this is not a division of white people in the cult and other groups and communities and colors and races within the human family. This is a war between the cult and the entirety of humanity. White, black, sky blue, bloody pink, all of us. And to win that war, it has to divide and rule the target population. And there was a great quote I saw a few days ago by a New Yorker journalist, Jane Mayer. It was words to the effect of, for the 1% to win America, but this is a global thing really, but to win America, they had to rebrand themselves as the champion of the other 99%. Now, this is exactly what has happened. So now you have this cult funding through its various corporations and billionaires, organizations that are dividing and ruling the black community too. I don't like using that black community, white community. We are one whole, if only we could see it. But to divide and rule, black from white, etc., they're doing it because they have to do it, because they unified together. We are all different expressions of the same whole. Humanity cannot be imposed upon by a tiny few. This is a war by the cult, which at its core happens to be white, against the entirety of humanity. So, what is the biggest problem that people have in terms of opportunity, choice, and of course, what is freedom except choice? The more choice you have, the more freedom you have. The less choice you have, the less freedom you have. But what is it that decides choice, opportunity, economics, money? So you look at deprived white people, and they are legion. You look at deprived, economically deprived, I'm talking about, black people. They are legion. The reason that they don't have opportunity and choice is they don't have the money to make those choices and decide those opportunities. So here you have, symbolically, literally actually, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, you have black people and white people sleeping in the streets of cities because they are in the same economically deprived, limited situation. Now, what the cult doesn't want is those people, black, white, and all the other colors and whatever, in that situation, to come together to challenge what's going on. They don't want that. So what are they doing? They're dividing deprived people and putting them at war with each other. And this, therefore, is not a race war. It's an economic war. It's a class war. It's setting the population at war with itself, while at the same time, those in the shadows that are funding all this You look at all these woke organizations, you look at all these different expressions of transgender organizations and all these different expressions of woke. You look at these organizations based on political correctness, which is manipulating the population to silence itself. And these 1% corporations are funding all of them. George Soros has put $32 billion into his Open Society foundations. You've got Gates funding to the tune of staggering amounts of money, almost unthinkable amounts of money. And he's funding all these cult agendas, including vaccines and the health system globally. All these 1%ers are funding these groups that think they're challenging the 1%. George Soros has said that he doesn't take into consideration the social consequences of what he does. He's just there to make money. Why would he be funding Black Lives Matter? Why would he be funding this great spectrum of woke organizations that claim to be fighting the system? He is the frickin' system. If the only option is being funded by the 1% and the cult, then there is no option. Because it's a simple question, ladies and gentlemen. Why are they funding you?